All right. Hey, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a game-changing method for high-volume hypertrophy training, what I call my Enforced RAR approach. If you've struggled with implementing high-volume training or felt like you're spinning your wheels in the gym, this video is for you. So let's first of all kick things off by addressing a common issue when implementing high-volume hypertrophy training. Many lifters misunderstand the crucial relationship between frequency, intensity, and volume. So here's what you need to know. Higher volumes demand slightly lower intensities, slightly lower. There's a sweet spot between pushing for eye-bleeding Dorian Yates failure versus junk volume, which yields zero to minimum results. There is a golden zone in between. And this method will help you stay in that zone. Misunderstanding this balance prevents many people from reaping the benefits of high volume training. Like sometimes they go too hard, sometimes they go too easy. So it is a lot more important with high volume training to address this balance. With low volume training, it's easy. Just go as hard as you can. You're unlikely to run into some of these issues. Really, the only limiting factor when you're doing low volume training is your ability to push hard. When it comes to the high volume stuff, there needs to be a little bit more nuance, and that's what this video is about. And just imagine going your entire training career without giving effective high volume training a fair shot, simply because you didn't know how to do it right. Think about the gains you might leave on the table. What if this is the key to unlocking the next 10 pounds of muscle growth or breaking through that plateau? I know many times in my training life it was. I started off with low volume, high intensity approaches, and I had to move to higher volumes to break through those plateaus. So the key to unlocking effective high volume training is slightly lowering your intensity, just a little bit. This adjustment allows you to handle more volume without burning out or compromising your form. Now, at the end of the day, the goal is still the same, and that is to effectively work the muscle and to show that by getting stronger over time. So you're still looking for progression with good form for medium to high reps. You must still track what you're doing. And on that note, before we dive deeper, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, which is Bootcamp, the best workout app on the market. Progression is still a must in any training program, and Bootcamp's got you covered. So use my code Fazlifts to get started and take your workouts to the next level. Now, getting back to the video, let's just introduce RAR. So what exactly is RAR? It stands for reps in reserve. Now, some of you will be nodding your head. You'll know what it is. Others might be rolling your eyes. But for you guys, this is not a fancy term, no matter what you may have heard. It's simply just a straightforward way to express how many reps you have left in the tank at the end of the set. Using RAR provides a universal language for accurately discussing and programming training intensity. That's all it is. It's just a way of communicating. It doesn't mean the program is going to be easy or ineffective. It's simply language, right? How you use it is up to you. Now, most high volume advocates who use an RAR approach will recommend working at about 1 to 2 RAR for all your sets. Now, that's often considered to be the productive zone. This means you're gauging your reps in reserve on every set. So you're in the middle of a set, you're counting reps, you're keeping an eye on form, but you're also having to gauge your reps in reserve. Let's be honest, constantly assessing RAR mid-set can be mentally taxing and distracting when you're trying to focus on your lifting. And I don't personally find it a lot of fun. So this is where I now use what I call my Enforced RAR approach. Instead of estimating RAR for every set, you perform sets across with the same weight and reps. Super simple. You've all done it before. Even those who don't like the idea of doing RAR, you've done it as well. So for example, let's say your working weight is 100 kilos. You're aiming to do 3 sets of 8. Set 1 will be for 8, and it would have to be at about 2 or 3 RAR. Set 2 for 8 would be at about 1 or 2 RAR as you fatigue. Set 3 for 8 will be at 0 to 1 RAR or even to failure as you fatigue even more. The method is super easy to implement. If someone asked me to do 3 sets at 2 RAR, I might struggle to gauge it accurately. But ask me to do 3 sets of 8, and it's straightforward. Let me give you some advantages of the Enforced RAR approach. First of all, you get varied intensities. So you're not always going for 2 RAR. You're actually varying your intensity across the sets. And I think that helps. I think it's important to have a variety across your training somehow. And this way has you doing it within the same exercise. So you get both a progression and a form focus. The earlier sets allow you to focus on form and technique, really hit that mind-muscle connection, while the later sets are potentially more progression focused and really push you to your limits. This gives you some useful variety. You get a beneficial mix of effort levels, which I think enhances your overall training effectiveness. So let's just summarize this for now. The enforced RAR approach simplifies high volume hypertrophy training by slightly lowering intensities to accommodate higher volumes, and it eliminates the need to constantly gauge RAR. And it also provides a structured method that balances form with progression. And on that note, in terms of what I consider to be high volume, that is linked in my Hypertrophy Fundamentals playlist. So have a watch of that so you know exactly what I'm advocating for. I'm not advocating for outrageous volume. I'm advocating for a level of volume which is high but achievable for a natural. So don't let misunderstandings about volume and intensity hold you back. If you've been told high volume just doesn't work, or perhaps you've tried it with the wrong implementation, give this approach a try and unlock some new gains in your training. I know that high volume training really helped me when I hit my first plateau at about end of year 1 or 2. I was benching about 200 pounds, squatting about 300, deadlifting about 480, and I had tapped out what I could do with low volumes. Moving to a high volume approach helped me get my first 300-pound bench, 400-pound squat, and eventually 500-pound squat and more. So within those first few years, it was really driven home to me that low volume got me so far, whereas the high volumes really pushed me to the next level. So I think you need both throughout your training life. So finally, if you found this video helpful, make sure you hit like, subscribe, share it with your fellow lifters. If you are interested in one-to-one coaching, there's a link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, peace out.